So where do you think things are going?
I don't overly think about that. Like part of what keeps me motivated and disciplined is I need to have fun with things. So sometimes it's a thin line between like wanting to do something and having to do it. Like for 20 years, I had to show up to my business every day to grow that business. And now I'm afforded the opportunity to not to have to do things that I don't want to do. And so I really want to do them. And if I want to do them, I need to have fun doing it. Meaning I'm not going to go hire some agency and pay a lot of money to make my social media influence bigger for what? Like to drive my ego or, to drive more business. That doesn't seem like fun for me. And so I'm always curious. Like I could see in the last 4 years, and again, like LinkedIn, I think is such a gift, very different than the other more consumer-facing platforms, given that it's more business focused. Not that you can't do business on Meta and some of the other platforms, but LinkedIn is very much there. I've seen the changes as the team and tries to develop the LinkedIn brand and the platform kind of further and so you kind of adapt to that, like, more video facing than still posts and they've tried their fair share. I think just LinkedIn audio, which I was a big fan of, is going away. And like the platforms are going to change, but what doesn't change is if you're a combination of like educating and entertaining someone, like teaching them something new and doing it in a format that's not boring and dull. I don't think it really matters on what your platform is or where you are, like what your niche is. You could be successful, and that's timeless.
This episode is powered by thehobbyletter.com. It's the newsletter that I started that shares everything we do on the marketing front, everything that we use to build Hoops Nation 0 to 10 million on social, everything that we've used to build dozens of brands to over 100,000 or a million in their own niches and grow the business. Everything on Instagram, everything on Facebook, everything on TikTok, everything on Twitter, so on and so forth, including our campaign business as well. It's everything that we learn from other people, everything we've learned ourselves from experience. I hope you check it out, thehobbyletter.com. Your first month is on me. So check it out, link in the description below, and I'll see you there. And then to double click on, it's so important, like what you've done is talk from your experiences, those lived experiences, uh, things that you've overcome over time, uh, businesses that you've built, companies that you've advised, all that sort of stuff is so unique and original to you that you're really the only person that can talk about any of that stuff. And I think that's why it resonates with people like myself.
Yeah, I mean that's true authenticity. We talk in branding. I was in the CP in the consumer packaged goods brand business for it's been 20, 26, 27 years. Like you want to differentiate yourself from your competitors, right? Like, and just so people understand who you are, what your brand is all about. Personal brand is no different than that. All the things that I've learned over the years creating a product and a brand I've just taken to my personal brand and played around with, right? It's me. I'm a solopreneur. And so like taking some of those practices and I get some hate for it, like your brand is going to do. And not everyone's going to love you as a person. Not everyone's going to love your product if you're selling a product. Like people literally send me notes and say, why do you say on your LinkedIn profile that you grew $100 million business and sold it for $419 million? And I'm like, well, because I did, one. And two, I know that differentiates me from a lot of other people. And that was my journey, right? And so I'm going to be proud of that. But that offends some people or makes people feel envy. I don't know what it is, but they have to call me out and say, like, why do you do that? Is that for your ego? And I'm like, no, that's my path. Like,
It's the
am I not
truth.
going to if I want a Stanley Cup, am I not going to tell you like I'm a Stanley Cup champion? Like if that's my journey in sport, like and so, but I learned that through social media and more reach, like listen, like 10% of people are going to love us probably no matter what we do. If we put ourselves out there, we're going to find our community. 10% of people are absolutely going to hate us, even if they don't know us. They're just going to be revolted by whatever we're putting on. And 80% of people really don't care. They're like to grab their attention is going to be a big challenge. So if you think like that and just do it for yourself and put yourself out there and enjoy the process, you can't really go wrong, especially if people say niche. Like I guess my niche is I was the hemp guy for 20 years. And now over the last 5 years, I think I'm more known as the growth guy because, I lost 100 pounds. I built a $100 million business. I've had a tremendous amount of personal and professional growth, and I continue on in that space. Like I'm not resting. I like to personally grow every day and professionally grow, and then I want to help other people do that. And so, I guess that's my niche, but that's a pretty wide, like, anything to do with personal and professional growth. I feel like I can share my experience there, and it resonates with people.
Totally. Those are great niches.